Hi everyone, it's Jean from Jean's Gems. I hope you all are having a very nice weekend. I think we kind of got caught up in cooking and doing some other things that recently it's been hard to stay on schedule. But I have a cute little project for you today. And this project is designed for you to use your scrap pieces of paper or maybe fussy cuts that you have cut out and have been wondering what to do with them. So what I have are these cute little notebooks that I made, and they're made out of course, lace and paper. And you can do them a variety of ways, and you can attach them or put them in any direction that you want as well. So they're not always up and down or vertical. You can use them either way. So this particular one that I have is done more in a purple, and it does have some papers in it, some pretty papers that are blank on the back, has a couple images. This one is from a doily, and I added a couple things here at the opening. So whether you open it this way or you open it from the side, you can still have some papers in there. So I just put some blue papers in to kind of match the blue here. This one's done with a very colorful piece of lace. And I tried to match the seam binding with the orange here. But as you lift it up, it does have more of an orange color paper in it. It has some tickets and just some extra paper. Now with this one, what I did is took a piece of harder cardstock for the back. And then the way these are made, and this is probably the easiest one to show you. Now this one, I think was the very first one I made. And when I made it, I didn't go all the way to the back as far as covering the whole back. I left that part open and put a little belly band there. But the way that these are made are basically taking laces or doilies that you may have in your stash that are more square or round, and making yourself a little booklet using the lace as a cover. So in this one has more greens in it. I just used little snippets of paper that I've had sticking around, and I put those in. And then on the belly band, there's a tag. So you can do all kinds of papers, whatever you want to put in your little notebook. These are, I'm not sure if they call these whale tail tabs, but I cut some out of some printables I had and just stapled them down. And then this one has a ticket. These three have tickets that are used to decorate the front. This one I didn't use a ticket on the front, but I did put some on the inside. This one is done the same way with this cut part here. And then because I do use a stapler with this, and I'll show you how in a little bit, I do try my best to cover the staples so that you're not really noticing how they were put together. So there are our three examples, and I'll just set those right here. And then I will see what we have that we can play with tonight. I brought out a couple pieces of lace. I brought out, this is actually some, looks, I think it's vintage, like pillowcase edging or something of that sort, but you can cut it apart right here. Don't anybody gasp in pain as I'm cutting this apart. We're going to showcase it in a way that we're going to appreciate it, not cut it up to be, you know, we're going to appreciate what we're making with our beautiful fabric. Now, I have over here just a couple things. I want to see how wide this lace is. So the paper I think should be about the same size as your base, your lace that you're covering it with, or smaller. So let me see if we would stack these few pieces together that I have here, how that would work. And they can be any kind of paper. This is cardstock. These are tea dyed. Here's a piece of scrapbook paper. Let me check this one. These might be okay. So let's take these pieces, and I'll get my cutter, my old beat up cutter here. It has been around for a long time. And I'm going to just kind of stack these all and then just trim them a little bit. That way I know that they're all pretty much either the same size or smaller. So let me trim these down. Now it'll be up to you as to whether or not you want to decorate the pages inside. On this one, this envelope is kind of looks like it had gotten wet at one time, but it's still in okay condition. I'm just going to use that part for the back. I still think it looks cool, even though it's a little bit ratty. We will leave it. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is, I don't want to use those scissors. Those are my fabric scissors. I'm going to cut this off right here so that it's straight across. And then I'm going to tuck the papers up inside the envelope. Okay, and then I'm going to just trim this down a little bit more. That way we don't have to use as much of the lace trim. Okay, so here we basically have a booklet with a couple different pages in it, and this envelope that's going to act like a base for us. And then what I'm going to do is just look through a couple images I may have here. Let me see if I have any small enough ones. Here's a real pretty floral sticker. These are just random things that I have on my desk. So I'm going to put this down on the front. These are nice stickers because they are clear or translucent so that you don't get that white edge. And that just kind of looks really pretty, a vintage sticker right on there. And because it is translucent, you see some of the tea dye come through, which I think that looks really cool. So we'll leave that one like that for our first page. And if you're making these so that when you do the lace portion, that the lace actually, the images actually show through the lace itself, that's why it's always nice to have a cute little cover piece. So I'm going to just fold this doily in half, and I'm going to put it this way, because actually I don't want to put it on that piece of paper. We'll just put it on these. That way we have something interesting there. This is kind of like the way you would build a little tiny journal. So you can put your doilies in, and you can put some stickers in here and some tags. I have some tags that I had been painting with, or I'm sorry, I had been working with. So let me see what else I can come up with over here. That is small. Now, years ago, and I mean, this has been probably like 15 years or so ago, I remember this sweet little girl image. I don't know where she came from, but I really like her. So she may go on the front, but I'm going to have to fussy cut her just a little bit more. Okay, so do I want to add any other papers? Because I want to make sure this one gets on here with the floral on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and then we'll decide if we want to add any more items later. So now I'm going to look at this and see how wide or how long we need it to be. So for this one, if I just hold it like this and then fold it down, you can make it the whole way, or you can just make it part way and then on the back do something cute. So for this one, I'm just going to go the whole way, and I'm going to cut this right here. Okay, put this over here. So we have this nice and put together with the two pieces of doily. Or actually, this is like a doily trim, we could call it. Now, I don't know if I have any more of the whale tail cutters, but I'll see if I have something else that we can like bend over the side like that to make it look like a tab. I like this one, but it's a different kind material. So what I'm going to do is use this die cut, because I think it'll tie in with the whole theme. And basically, you don't have to have a top part if you don't want it. But I think with this, it'll look nice. I'm going to just poke out these little holes here. And I was debating on whether to trim the stem, but I don't think I'm going to do that. And I am going to use a stapler to make this. So I want to make sure that all the papers are all the way to the bottom. And then put my little topper on, which is just a die cut, I think probably from Tim Holtz. And I'm going to trim it a little bit because I don't want to see it sticking out uneven on the other side. So I just trimmed it a little bit, and let's see what happens. Okay, so if we staple it like this, it should staple everything in nice and smooth. So I'm going to use one of my clips to hold it together so I know all the papers will be at the top. And then I'm going to put this over the top here. And then I'm going to go through the middle. You need to go in a little bit and just staple it. Now the staple didn't want to catch this part, so that's okay. What I'll do is I'll just take a little bit of glue here because I don't want to put a whole bunch of staples in this. So let me put a little bit of glue here. And fold this over. And that'll just keep that other side nice and anchored down there. So as you can see, you don't have to have a specific tab design for your tab. You can use just square pieces of paper, or like I did, you can use a die cut. You can use all kinds of interesting things to make your topper. Excuse me while I'm looking for stuff. You're probably seeing my gray hair. That's okay. If you don't know by now, I'm old and I have gray hair. So for this little girl, I'm going to trim her out a lot closer than what she is. I can't remember where she came from, but I know I've had her for a long time. And that's what I've been trying to do. I've found some paper stashes that I had in like Ziploc bags, and I've been going through them and cutting out and using what I can to it's things that you want to keep, that you don't really want to throw away, but yet will only serve your purpose for a specific project. So I started making these the other day. I don't know what gave me the idea, but I started making them because I was thinking about the girls in the channel owners that are working on the Happy Mail movement. And it's one of the things I really appreciated whenever I watched Kim's video is the beautiful envelopes and the beautiful projects that she got from her viewers. And I think that that's part of the great thing about this is not only do you send an envelope in itself that'll be a keepsake, but you also can send a little bit of your work. And whenever you make these, because you're only putting a few small pieces of maybe tea-dyed paper in them, or other kind of paper that you have dyed, they're very light, so they should be able to go into your envelope without too much trouble as far as weight is concerned. Now, the only thing you'll have to be careful of is if you put something three-dimensional on the top, like I did this one, because that's going to make your envelope a little bit thicker. But that's basically how I started making these, was I wanted something cute to put inside my envelopes. And isn't she is so cute. Let me see what kind of ink I have on my dauber to ink her up a little bit, just to get rid of that white. Okay, so I'm going to put her on here with some glue. Now, if your lace or your, whatever you're using as the front piece of your little booklet here, if it has a lot of holes in it, you'll have to be careful because you don't want it to seep through down to your first page of your book, or it'll ruin that first page. So there we have this little girl on here. And you can also put some other things on there as well that will dress it up a little bit. For example, if you had a contrasting lace, or maybe a piece of a doily, or something else that you'd like to add to kind of dress up the front of this, you can. I think since there's some pink in here, I'm going to look for some pink, something pink. And everybody says, you know, they don't love pink, or pink's not their favorite color to work with, but I like pink, and it seems like I always end up gravitating back to pink. So here I have, let me make sure. Here I have a little, I have some, I have some velvet ribbon. And a little piece of this on here would be cute. What else fell down? Oh, my clip. Okay. So what we could do actually is we could even make ourselves a little belly band on here and put this around. We can put it around the whole thing so it's like a closure. Oh, she's so precious. And then we can find some kind of button or something that we can put with it. Okay, that's too dark. Let me see what we have that we could use in here. We could use one of these little heart buckles. That would be cute. So we could, let me cut these on a slant. Then it goes this way, and then it goes through this way. So it looks like a little belt buckle on there. And then we can put this around the back. And we will just glue it lightly so that if someone wants to just slip that off, they can. And then that's their little notebook. They could just slip that piece off. Okay, so I'm going to close this right here like this. Just leave it for a little bit. It should cling pretty quickly. And there we have this cute little belt buckle on there. I'm going to move it down a little bit more. And then what else can we use to kind of make this more interesting at the bottom? I don't think that's the right thing. I don't have any pink rickrack at hand. I mean, we really don't have to do a whole lot more with it if we don't want to. Let me see if I have any fabric in here that we could use. Okay, that's too wide. Actually, I think I'm just going to leave it. Let me just check one of these real quick. This is very pink. So let's see if we lift this up. I want to see what this would look like. Take this and we can put it on the underside. Or lift her little feeties up and stick it on the front side to do a little bit of trimming if we do that, which is perfectly fine. Okay, let me put some glue here. And let me trim this one edge off and make sure that that's pretty even. I don't know if I love that. Don't think I'm a fan of that, actually. So, oh, I know what I could use. I have like 500 pieces of washi, and this one might work. These are all wider washi, but this one narrow one might work just to add some more pink to it. And this washi is pretty good washi. I got it from Amazon, I think, a while back when I had some friends over and we were doing some art projects. But with washi, it's really touch and go on the quality sometimes because you don't know how sticky it's actually going to be. And a lot of people will add extra glue to it. So I'm going to try to just add it at the bottom without doing that. And hopefully it'll be okay. So that gives it a little bit of a base there and still shows the pink. Okay, so I'm going to glue her feet back down since I lifted her up to do that. And there she is, and she is just as sweet as she can be. Now on the back here, if we want to, we can stick in it something that I don't have a whole lot cut here. This one I think is too tall. And that one is too wide. Let me look at my bowl here. Okay. How about this one? If we put this little ticket in here, this little tag in here, that would be a cute little extra piece that you could put in there. So there's how I made the little booklets. And they're so quick and easy to make. You can make a bunch at a time. And what a darling little piece to open up an envelope and get one of these in it. It will not cost you very much to mail it. They don't weigh you very much at all. As a matter of fact, if you want to eliminate part of the backing like I did here, they'll be even lighter. But for a quick little project, another thing I noticed is I didn't do anything with the staple in covering up the staple. So I have all these little pink gems here. I could put something on there to match. Something like this if I wanted to. But it kind of looks funny just right on top of her head. So I think that one doesn't look too bad with starfish. Doesn't really match the theme though, does it? I did have some little... That's something else. I thought I had some little, you know what? Actually, you can't see it very much, so I'm not going to worry about that. But there is an option for you to make a nice little gift for someone. Takes a few minutes, and it's so cute because you could make it with all different themes. You can do birds, you can do cats, you can do little girls, you can do something just plain like this. So you have a lot of different options for this project. So just that's really what I wanted to show and share with you. And I have some envelopes going out this week, which is really exciting. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening and you come back to see me soon. Bye for now.